For thousands of years, humans believed they understood what made us different. A larger brain, greater intelligence, more complex thoughts, the ability to create, communicate, and imagine. Scientists once believed evolution followed a simple rule. As humans became more advanced, their brains became larger. But then, a discovery hidden deep beneath the surface of South Africa challenged everything. A human species appeared, with a surprisingly small brain, yet possibly one of the most mysterious behaviors ever discovered in our ancient history. This was Homo naledi. In 2013, a group of explorers entered a hidden world beneath the earth. The Rising Star cave system near Johannesburg, South Africa. The journey was not easy. The passages were narrow. The darkness was complete. Some areas were so difficult to reach that only specially trained researchers could enter. Every movement was careful. Every step revealed the possibility of something unknown waiting ahead. And deep inside those underground chambers, they found something extraordinary. Hundreds of ancient bones, multiple individuals, an entire population of a lost human species preserved in the darkness. A discovery that would change the way we think about human evolution. Homo naledi lived around 300,000 years ago. At first glance, they looked like a mystery created by evolution itself. They had hands capable of gripping objects, feet designed for walking upright, teeth that connected them to other human species. But their brains were surprisingly small, about the size of a large ape's brain. And this created one of the biggest questions in anthropology. How could a human species with such a small brain possibly show complex behavior? Because perhaps intelligence is not only about size. Perhaps the human mind cannot be measured by the space inside a skull. Maybe it is revealed through actions, through choices, through the way one individual treats another. And this is where the story of Homo naledi becomes even more fascinating. The greatest mystery surrounding Homo naledi involves something deeply connected to being human: death. Some researchers believe Homo naledi may have intentionally placed their dead deep inside the cave. If this interpretation is correct, it would be extraordinary. Because placing the dead in a special location suggests something beyond simple survival. It suggests memory, connection, a bond between individuals, the understanding that a life had meaning. But scientists continue to debate this discovery. The evidence is fascinating, but the complete truth remains hidden. And perhaps that mystery is exactly what makes Homo naledi so important. They remind us that humanity has always been more complicated than we imagined. When we look back at ancient humans, it is easy to imagine them as completely separate from us. Lost worlds, forgotten species, a past that disappeared forever. But genetics tells a different story. Because ancient humans are not only found in fossils, they are also found inside us. The Neanderthals who once walked through Ice Age landscapes left behind pieces of their genetic legacy. The Denisovans who survived across Asia passed their DNA to future generations. These were not simply meetings between different human groups. They were moments that changed the future of our species. Some ancient genes helped humans survive new environments. Some influenced immunity. Some helped populations adapt to extreme conditions. The past is not buried completely. It is carried within us. For a long time, people imagined human evolution like a ladder. A simple climb. Primitive creatures at the bottom. Modern humans standing at the top. But that picture creates the wrong impression. Evolution was never a ladder. It was a forest. A massive tree with countless branches. Some branches grew for millions of years. Some disappeared after facing impossible challenges. Some followed paths we never expected. Human history was not the story of one perfect species replacing all others. It was the story of many experiments, many attempts, many different ways of being human. Some ancient humans became powerful hunters. Some survived extreme cold. Some crossed continents. Some adapted to isolated islands. Some created tools. Some developed behaviors that still surprise scientists today. And some vanished without leaving clear answers behind. But every one of them represents a chapter in our story. And this leads to perhaps the greatest mystery of all. Why did only Homo sapiens survive? Tens of thousands of years ago, other human species began disappearing. Eventually, we became the last humans left on Earth. But why? Were we smarter? Were we stronger? Were we more adaptable? Or did we simply survive because of a combination of opportunities and circumstances? Scientists are still searching for the complete answer. Because our success was probably not caused by one single advantage. It was a mixture of many abilities. Communication, cooperation, technology, social connections, the ability to share knowledge across generations, the ability to survive together. But one thing is important to remember. The disappearance of other human species does not mean they failed. A species that survives hundreds of thousands of years is not a failure. Neanderthals survived frozen worlds. Homo erectus traveled across continents. Homo floresiensis survived isolated on an island. Denisovans adapted to extreme environments. Homo Naledi challenged our understanding of intelligence. Their stories are not stories of defeat. They are stories of survival. Today, more than 8 billion humans live across the planet. We build enormous cities. We explore space. We create technology that ancient humans could never have imagined. But our story did not begin with modern civilization. Before cities, before writing, before kingdoms and nations, there were countless generations of humans facing darkness, cold nights, dangerous predators, unknown landscapes. They walked across continents without maps. They survived without medicine. They protected their families without modern tools. And because they survived, we exist. So the next time you look at another human being, remember something extraordinary. Inside every person alive today, there is a story that began millions of years ago. A story of ancient hunters, ancient explorers, ancient survivors. A story that includes not only Homo sapiens, but every human who came before us. Because humanity was never a single straight line. It was a vast and complicated family. A family built from countless forgotten branches. And every one of those branches helped create the one that still stands today. If you want to discover more hidden chapters of human history, subscribe to Human Roots. Because the story of humanity is far older, far stranger, and far more fascinating than we ever imagined.